What up? This is your Cosmic Homegirl, and I'm doing a weekend forecast for June 14th, 15th, and 16th of 2019. I'm so glad to be back, you guys. I'm sorry I didn't get a full weekly up this week. For those of you that follow me on the Instagrams and also on my Twitter, I did say something about me having computer issues. Oh my God, I'm so glad I got them fixed. Yo, I was dying without my laptop working properly and my internet working properly. It was like hell without it, okay, as somebody that uses this stuff every day. But anyway, so I'm back up and running. So I am back with getting some videos and stuff out for you guys. And I'm going to do a weekend forecast for you guys just to catch up, okay? Because there's a lot of energy that's in the air right now that's popping off that we really need to talk about. Before I get to that, just wanted to remind you guys that I do have some summer sales going on. I have a special reading that's for the last half of 2019 because we have some eclipses. We have Mercury retrogrades in water signs again. If you guys know how that Mercury retrograde in Pisces was at the beginning of the year, you know that you may need some guidance on that, okay? I'm just saying. So I cover those, and I cover any other like major personal transits that are according to your exact birthday or your birth chart if you have the time. So the last half of 2019 readings, I have Skype readings discounted. Now that all my equipment is back up, I can do Skypes again. So I'm discounting my Skype readings right now. Love and romance readings for the summertime. Hey, if you're trying to find a summer boo, if you're out and about, you're meeting people, you want to know some things about who you attract and why, this is a reading for singles, okay? And I also give you a horoscope to let you know when is the best, like the most likely timing that you will meet somebody or be in a serious relationship. I take a look currently and ahead for that. So that's the love and romance readings. Those are discounted right now. I also have eclipse readings. We do have eclipses coming up very soon. So within the next couple of weeks. And you know what? The effects of them can be seen, heard, and felt and experienced even like up to a month before the eclipse dates happen. So if you would like to find out what the eclipses in July are doing for you in your life, I do have readings on those. Don't forget to peep the video I did on them. I do give general horoscopes for every sign on those eclipses in July. And finally, I'm going to have a workshop. I'm going to do it on June 25th. Okay, so I will have all the information below. I will have it below very shortly, either below this video or below the next weekly video to where you guys can sign up for it. It's about astro lingo, like the language that we speak in astrology, just the terminology. If you're a newbie, like I'm talking brand new to astrology, all you know is your sun sign. You don't know anything else. It's not like super duper complicated. I'm just going to explain to you like the lingo that we use, like when I post stuff online or other people post stuff online, and when we crack jokes about your ascendant, your moon, your this house and that angle and aspect, what the heck are we talking about? I'm just going to give you guys some simplified answers to that, and it'll be a Q&A as well. So stay tuned for more info on that, but I am going to be hosting that on June 25th, and you guys will be able to sign up for that. So that's what I've got going on. It's so good to catch up with you guys. Now let's see what's popping with this weekend's energy. So the 14th, 15th, and 16th of June. Well, first of all, let's start with the 14th. So we do still have the moon in Scorpio. We have the moon in Scorpio. For the early part of the day, it's making a trine to Neptune, a trine to all the stuff happening in Cancer. So that's a grand water trine, very emotional. Trines usually bring very positive energy, but they can kind of open the door and the gates to, especially with watery emotions, it's like a flood of other emotions can come through. You know what I'm saying? I noticed that I was feeling like today I got time because like like that was my theme song for the morning. Well, maybe because I am a Scorpio rising, and whenever the moon is in your rising sign, that's a time when you're super highly emotionally charged, and you will be like just pissed off, you know, for any reason. If the moon is in your rising or your sun or your own moon sign, which happens in each one like once a month, that's a time when you can be super emo or just super like pissed, you know? So Yeah, I was kind of feeling that with the grand water trine, but you know what? This energy is also in the air. Great for tapping into music and creativity. But let's go to later in the day, because I am going to be posting this later in the day. So the moon does continue to be in the sign of Scorpio. And remember, this time is Pacific time in the US, West Coast. All right. So the moon continues to be in Scorpio throughout the evening. And it is still going to be, I would say, until late in the evening, West Coast US time. It'll still be kind of making aspects to the positive aspects to the moon. I'm sorry, to Mercury, Mars, and Neptune. So that kind of calms down what we got going on right here. Okay. Which is this: Mercury conjunct the North Node, conjunct Mars. Now, the North Node acts as an accelerator. It exaggerates things. Whatever touches it, it exaggerates it. So if Mercury's touching it, Mercury's communication, it's our thoughts. It's in the sign of Cancer. It's exaggerating Mercury. So people may be talking louder. I've noticed I'm talking a lot louder. Mars also can influence like more louder, blunt, direct speech and communication too, even though this is in the watery, emotional, sensitive sign of Cancer. That's how a lot of people can be speaking at this time, and it could be lacking logic, to be quite honest. Mercury in Cancer is not a logical Mercury. It's an emotional sign, and so a lot of people could be very quick to be cutting with their words in a very petty, emotional way, or be very manipulating with their words. You know what I'm saying? So just be very cautious of that. Try not to tap into that and be an a-hole yourself, being petty and stuff. You know what? I'm going to be honest. Like I caught myself getting caught up in this energy and wanting to be petty, over based on emotions, just pure emotions. Like Mars is a fiery energy, right? And then you pair it with water. It's in a water sign next to these other things in water signs. It's boiling water. And once water gets to boiling, it's like a teapot, when you're boiling water in one and then it whistles. It's hard to shut that whistling off. It has to simmer down and cool down before it'll stop, right? So that's what this can be like with our thoughts and our communication at this time. That could be typing or texting or speaking, anything, so that's how we can be having the potential to act, okay, to overreact to things. I have caught myself overreacting to stuff emotionally, and I've been journaling it out to make sure I don't lash out at anybody directly, because I just felt like Cancer energy can be very petty. If you guys ever watch the Breakfast Club interviews, Charlemagne the God, he's a Cancer. He always says Cancers are petty. And he's not lying there. When Cancer energy is mad, it can be super petty. It can be mad over any little thing and take it personally, and then just be like mad petty. So I caught myself being like that and being like, you know what? I should do this and block this person and just delete everybody. And you know what? I have close friends that are Cancers, and that's exactly how they get when they get in their little moods. They go on blocking and deleting sprees, or they delete their social media accounts, be like, I don't want to talk to nobody, and they just go in their shells all mad. That's what this energy can act like a lot of times. So because of that, we're all going to be feeling this to some degree. We can all be tempted to act like this to some degree, and acting out of impulse, because Mars is touching the North Node. So Mars is action, and it's being accelerated by the North Node. And this is in Cancer, emotion. So acting only based upon emotion is very, very strong right now. Strong potential for that, especially for Cancers. If you're born under the sign of Cancer, Cancer sun, moon, Cancer rising, or if you have Mercury or Mars in Cancer, especially like yourself in your own birth chart, you can have that potential to act like this right now. But the thing is, there's an opposition here to Saturn and Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn energy itself is about consequences and discipline, and being held accountable. So if you do tend to do stuff like that, lash out, being irrational, there could be severe consequences to it. You could be put in check by authority figures, or just somebody that's in some sort of position above you. in some kind of way. You could be put into check. This could be parents, this could be bosses, this could be anybody. Or if you have like a Saturnian relationship partner, if they're a Capricorn or an Aquarius, or they have Saturn in their first house, Saturn with their sun or moon, like there's so many different combinations that can equate to that. Like if they're a Capricorn anything, you know, and they're your relationship partner, they're really being activated right now. They're being challenged as well. So, you know, maybe they could be looking at petty, irrational, illogical behaviors and being like, oh, really now? And like, you know, wanting to put the smack down harder, like that Capricorn discipline, you know, just put it down even more. And you know what I noticed with Mercury and Mars together? Mercury is the hands and Mars is fighting. I've been doing this a lot more too. When I talk, like speaking with passion is really good with this energy, but also like, you know, you may be more animated. This energy can cause a lot more fights. I'm going to be honest. So over the weekend, you guys just be mindful of that people may be more in the mood to fight, especially over any type of emotional matter, or especially over family, over mothers. This is not the weekend to talk about yo mama, okay? Like no yo mama jokes. This whole next week coming up, no, don't say anything. I feel sorry for your mother. Nope, don't do any of that. Or your mama's wrong. It's the medulla oblongata, okay? Like don't do any of that, because people will be rushing you. You know what I'm saying? They'll have that blood rush to their head, emotion rush to their head, and they'll see nothing else but wanting to put the smack down. So don't talk about people's families or moms or anything like that. People will be very protective. So this is throughout the weekend. Yeah, so don't get into any like drunken emotional fights, because there could be consequences. Saturn rules authority. It can rule government. It can rule officials that are in charge. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. Pluto is starting to oppose Mars. Mars and Pluto are starting to oppose each other. Now, this is something that is building up, right? And it's going to be exact in the middle of this upcoming week. I'm going to say in like a week from now, like around the 21st, I believe is when it's exact, but it's building up. And a Mars and Pluto opposition, first of all, like I said, Mercury's the hands, Mars is anger and fighting. And then there's an opposition to Pluto, which could be severely damaging and abusing anyone or anything. Excuse me. So you want to be careful with this energy. There can be a destructive factor to this. Now, Saturn will help to anchor things down and keep things in check and be like, hold up, wait a second. You know, we have to think about the consequences of our actions if we want to get violent. So for some people, they may tap into that, but some may just see red and just like, I just want to like, you know, whoop somebody. I want to just destroy something because I'm so angry. So this is what's building over the weekend. So just please try to keep yourselves in check. Be your own Saturn. This could be inner conflict. If it doesn't come from, you know, if it's not between you and others, it's an inner conflict. Like you want to just act out, you know, just act a fool based on how you feel alone. And then maybe there's this little voice in your head that's like, no, maybe you shouldn't do that. It's dumb. You're overreacting. Calm down. You know, look at reality, yada, 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 right? So that's going on. A good aspect that's going on right now too is Mars and Neptune are still making a trine aspect to each other through the weekend. And this is good for like action, and also Mercury too. Mercury and Mars together aspecting Neptune. Now, Mercury is the hands, Mars is the rest of your body moving around. So, and Neptune is music and art and dance. And so lots of beautiful art can be created this weekend, especially if you are feeling some type of way, like a negative type of way, and you need to get those feelings out. Channel it into some sort of art. You know, go out dancing, write some music or poetry or creative writing stuff, draw, paint, do something, you know, creative with this passionate energy. It's so fiery and passionate, but it can be transmuted into something really, really gorgeous, right? So I know I'm trying to, do some creative stuff this weekend. And I'm trying to be out dancing and everything, like just channeling that energy that way. If, because I am highly emotional right now. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do with that energy too. Okay, so now we also have the sun continuing to oppose Jupiter and to square Neptune. What I will warn of this energy, you guys, like I always tell you guys about this mutable energy, and I know maybe some mutable sign people might get mad, but hey, my moon is mutable. Okay, my moon is Pisces, so I know the negative and the positive tendencies of mutable signs, right? But some people are on the lower vibration to where they tap into the energy in the air and they use it on the lower side of it, which is like trying to scheme and trying to finesse people and just like really weave these illusions and stuff. So we have the sun still making this like mutable T square, which is a challenge. It can be overdoing, overthinking, or over drinking, overeating, overdoing it with drugs, with it's promising more than you can deliver. I can't even tell you like how much of this I have experienced in the last week, since this aspect has been building up and lingering around, like. And then it's like when you call people out and you say, hey, excuse me, you're like, hey, what's up with what you said? Then people are like disappearing. They're ghosting when you ask them about what they said. And it's just like, oh, really? Okay. So I think a lot of people, especially if they're born under mutable signs, which is Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, and Virgo, I don't think a lot of people, most people are not intentionally promising more than they can deliver. If they are, I don't think everybody's trying to just be deceitful. Some people are evil mofos, and they are, but some people are just like, I don't know, they're super hyped about something in the moment, and then they'll say things in the moment like yeah, they're super hyped and they mean it then, but then later on it's like, oh wow, can I really do this? I don't know. And then they just kind of hide out, because they realize I can't really go through with this. I'm noticing that people have been doing that. And then this opposition between Cancer and Capricorn is about accountability, and so it's just like this axis here is calling out people that are participating in that mutable stuff of just like doo-doo, in the moment is great, I mean it in the moment, but the next moment I might change my mind, it might mean something else, woohoo, bye. This axis here is like, hold on, like what about what you said you were going to do, what about what you promised? And people are like, yeah, I better be accountable. I don't think I know a lot of the mutable signs. Honestly, they don't know how to be accountable, except for Virgo. Virgo does. They're a little too accountable at times, like take on way too much. But these other fools right here, like, oh my gosh, they don't know how to be accountable. They would rather skip off and just do like away from reality and responsibility, right? So people are getting checked on that. So this weekend, if you encounter people, especially if you meet new people and they're like, yeah, this is going to go on and this is great. Don't take everything for, what is this saying? I don't know. I'm horrible at sayings, I know, but just don't take everything as 100% like word is bond. Okay. Because people may not mean everything they say. You just have to be like, oh, okay, like halfway believe it until you see them actually do it or whatever. And yes, this is the temptation of going a little too far with things, with enjoying yourself. So just be cautious of that this weekend. This is still popping off. Even like, Saturday, it's still popping off. I use 8 degree an 8 degree of separation. So this will still be going on probably until the beginning of next week. Okay. Like 17th, 18th. It'll be like pretty strong until then. Okay. So speaking of Saturday, June 15th, the moon will be in Sagittarius at the, by that time. So, the moon enters Sagittarius like in the morning, early in the morning, here, like, in the US, right? It enters Sagittarius. So party time. Excellent. Woo. woo, like Sag is the party sign, one of the party signs. It's going to be opposing Venus. The moon will be opposing Venus at that time. It's going to creep up on Jupiter like in the evening. Moon and Jupiter is like celebration. It's a celebration. Haha. Rick James. Yes. That's the moon and Jupiter to get together in Sag. So remember what I said about all this other stuff, you guys. There's a potential for emotional lashing out and impulsivity. There's a potential for like just totally going overboard with stuff or promising more than you can deliver. But I will admit, this weekend does have the potential to have a lot of fun, like especially towards the evening here on at least the West Coast. It might be the next day or early in the morning by the time it gets to the eastern part of the world. But see, look, late at night on the 15th, moon and Jupiter start coming together. And they're like, that's party time. But we are building up to a full moon in Sagittarius, which I will talk about when I do the weekly forecast. But into the middle of the night, this is party city. So it could be a fun evening of shenanigans and nonsense. But just be cautious, because that means the moon is going to start to also square Neptune and and also oppose the sun. So we've got like this whole mutable T-squares thing still popping off. So the 16th is a Sunday, and that's Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all the pops out there. On your day, it looks like we still have pretty much the same energy going on. The moon and Jupiter will be exact like in the afternoon. In the afternoon or the early evening, depending upon where you are in the world. So celebrating Father's Day can be really, really, really good times for some people. Just kind of celebrating and eat, drink, and be merry and no worries and all that good stuff is moon and Jupiter together in Sag. But remember, people can go overboard with the drinking with this stuff right here, okay? And we still have Mars in Cancer, Mercury in Cancer. So this is Cancer rules family, so this could be like fighting over family, defending family. This can, remember, the opposition could be some authorities can check you if you decide to just go all out, lash out, and be crazy based on your emotions, okay? So that's what's going on this weekend, you guys. Now, also the North Node, it has to do with purpose. It's not just an accelerator, that makes these planets act even more than they are, but this is about your destiny and your purpose. So a lot of people can be really frustrated because of the opposition. Saturn is like a stop sign or a speed bump or a roadblock sometimes. You know what I'm saying? That stops you and questions you. It's like a cop that stops and questions you, or you're just like skipping down the hallway at school and then a hall monitor or the principal stops you and questions you to death about why you're skipping down the hallway. How come you're not in class? What are you doing? Da, 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 da. Like, that's what this energy can be like. That's what Saturn can be like. So, this is thinking and speaking about your true purpose and what you're doing and not doing and what actions are being taken or not taken. A lot of us are feeling this, even though this is in Cancer. This affects Cancers the most. Or I'm going to say if you are a Libra rising, especially, this will be like in your career house. So you'll really be thinking about stuff like that. And you'll feel like, man, there's so many obstacles. Like, I want to push forward. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to accelerate, myself into my true purpose, but I feel like such and such stops me. It could be an inner conflict. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what the North Node also deals with. It does deal with karma. So there could be very karmic things going on. Aren't there always, though? Especially with the South Node. Still, the South Node is like been in a conjunction with Saturn and Pluto, and that has definitely been some like karmic lessons. Oh my gosh, you guys, you know what I realized? Okay, so Saturn is a bringer of great lessons and karma in itself, right? It's consequences. Hey, you did this, so therefore this has got to happen, or you need to learn this lesson. And with the South Node in a conjunction with it, South Node could be past life karma. If you believe in past lives, if you don't, I'm sorry, whatever. But it can be past life karma, or just within this lifetime, your past, what you have done. So a lot of people are reaping what they sow right now. And, there's been things that have been going on with me. Like, it's been crazy. I've been meeting people, and, in the last few months, especially, last several months, Saturn and South Node together, it's like I'll meet people, and then we have this weird thing where we hit it off right away. We're drawn to each other. I'm drawn to them. And then when I do look up their chart, it's like there's one planet of mine exactly on their own South Node, which is their past life. And most of the time in these situations, I've ended up being the one that's like got, my feelings hurt, or I don't know, like there's just been some kind of heaviness with it. I can't just casually meet people and hang out. Everybody has had this South Node thing where one of my planets, outer planets, personal, it doesn't matter, it sits right directly on their South Node, like to the degree. And I'm like, are these people that I screwed over in a past life and they're coming back to haunt me, or what? Like, it's been crazy. So if anybody else has had experiences like that, let me know. Like, Saturn, you know what I'm saying? It's like past life karma lessons that you're learning. So I'm just trying to figure out what the lessons are, so I don't get like booty hurt, get my feelings hurt, or I don't hurt anyone else's feelings, or maybe I can figure out what the karma is and me and the people can resolve it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, wow, I really cannot just have casual meetings with people. It's just, yeah. So let me know if anybody else is experiencing that. This website, unfortunately, it doesn't show the South Node, but it's right here. It's right next to Saturn. It's at 17 degrees, like directly opposite of the North Node, right? So that's it, you guys. That's what this weekend's forecast is. I mean, just the rest of the day on the 16th, we do have Mercury trine Neptune. Mars is still technically trined to Neptune as well. And, we have the moon continuing to be in Sag, continuing to be with Jupiter and Neptune. So that's what's going on the 16th. And we also have, this weekend we have Jupiter and Neptune are exactly squaring each other. So this is really bringing out like stuff like, this is an aspect, you guys, that can bring out thievery and, just like jumping and flying into things without completely looking into the consequences. Is both planets deal with faith and optimism, and sometimes blind faith. Both of them do. Getting super hyped about stuff, but not really caring about boundaries at all. Okay, so that is like super strong this weekend. Let's see. I want to say, like the 15th and going into the 16th, because Jupiter is retrograde. So I'm looking for 1843 right here, because this is 1843. So into the 16th, like early in the morning. Yeah, that's when this aspect is it's exact. So be careful, protect your belongings, protect your information, protect yourself in any type of way that anyone can cross boundaries and invade you as a physical body, or your personal space, or your space as a soul and a spirit. This is opening up the spirit realm too. So if you have anything spiritual to participate in, this can be a time when, although this is a square, this is still opening a gateway. So spiritual work, hey, it may be on point. Connecting with spirits, if you are a medium or you're trying to, do any type of form of divination or practice to do that, this could be a weekend for that, especially on the 16th. Pay attention to your dreams, because this opens the gateway to very vivid dreams with messages from, quote unquote, the other side, right? So Jupiter square Neptune, but this can really have us just like wanting to escape into a state of bliss And sometimes it could be like we go too far. You know what I'm saying? So be very cautious, you guys, with drinking, or if you participate in anything else that alters the state of your mind or your physical being. Be very cautious, because this could be a very dangerous transit for overdoses and stuff. Okay, so I don't want to hear about none of y'all out there, having any of that go on this weekend. Especially with the moon paired with this, it's like, woo, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, anyhow, have a great weekend, you guys. Happy Father's Day once again to all the fathers out there, all the baby fathers. And I'll be back this weekend with your weekly forecast that's for the 16th through the 23rd. Don't forget, like I said, I have summer sales. I'll leave the information below in the info box. I have a little class that I'm teaching everybody on the 25th, so don't forget about that. I'll have the info to where you guys can sign up. Just keep checking back. I'm still kind of updating my website and catching up on some things, but just keep the 25th in mind and watch for the information. All right, take care, you guys. Have an awesome weekend, and we will talk soon. Peace.